she said kinda love affair.
Is love in the air, or is your relationship on the verge of destruction? Let's talk about it. Sit back,
relax,
and enjoy your favorite cocktail as we discuss relationships, dating,
sex,
and love. Love on the rocks, that is.
Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks.
All right, everybody, welcome to Love on the Rocks. Hello, it is Roger the Wild Child along with Michelle Urso. How you doing, Michelle?
I am great. You know, my flight was delayed today, but it was a great day overall. Sat next to a really cute little grandma on my flight, so I cannot complain. How's your day?
My day was awesome. Work today, making some money. Excited, getting ready to get my kids moved down here to Texas. Just a lot of cool stuff that's going on right now. And you know what? I reunited with an old flame.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. And that what brought me to this our topic.
You're at a loss for words here.
You know, Michelle, here we go. So yeah, so long story short is that I know that we've talked about in the past about me dating this girl that's like 20 years younger than I am, and it's like, you know, what the fuck, Roger? What do you think? And I'm like, hello, she's 20 years younger than me.
Right.
Mean, how cool is that? Right.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah. So here's the deal, though. So all of a sudden, because and she'll have her chance to speak, but we kind of broke off back in August of last year. We broke things off. She ended up running off to her like very, very first boyfriend and got married to him and was like, it's like, what? Seriously? You're just going to go marry him and whatever. But
yeah.
And then the weirdest thing was, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago back, I didn't text her or anything. I just sent her an email that just said, how's it going?
That's all you wrote?
That's all. One line. How's it going? How's everything with you? And then she's like, oh, I just got divorced. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I'm back in Idaho and here's my new number or whatever. And then I texted her and we just started we started chatting. And I was like, wow. It's just like, we talked about, you know how it is when you first talk, you're like, I'm mad at you for this. I can't believe you did this to me, and then it's like, I'm so sorry and blah, 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 blah. And, now we're talking. So It's like, we got through past that. I'm like, okay, now you realize how stupid you were to get married because you got divorced, in less than 6 hours? Okay, 6 months. But she's going to have her chance. She's going to have her chance to be able to chime in. So I was just like, wow. Cause even on this episode, I never knocked her. I never bashed her. I just always talked about how it was a relationship. It was something that was in my life. She was in my life. And, relationships are seasons. We talk about this on the show. Relationships come, relationships go. And so she just kind of, we're just kind of, I guess rekindling and trying to bring the friendship back.
Yeah. And from what I remember, you talked highly about it. You said you had a great time. You were doing fun stuff. Like from what I remember you saying, you enjoyed
we were doing fun stuff. Yeah. We were doing fun stuff.
But it was nothing bad. It was nothing negative.
No, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, it was really, really good. So we will bring her on here momentarily, but I think we should bring the influencers on.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So let's bring the mouth of the South. We got Megan.
Hey y'all.
What up,
and Lydia.
Hi, Lydia. How are y'all?
Hey, girl.
How's
everyone doing?
Did you get a haircut, Megan?
No, it's just back up like in a clip. No.
Oh, is
It's
it?
still there. Yeah. It's
So
just
let
a
me
clip.
ask you two, Lydia, what's your take on getting back together with an ex?
I've never done it.
Okay.
But it is funny because like about a month ago or so, my boyfriend from when I was like 15 or 16, like friend requested me on Facebook and sent me a message like apologizing for how he acted back then. And I'm like, dude, it was like almost 20 years ago. Like, I'm over it. But like
Really? He needed that for
we both. Well, yeah, he said that he had been going through a lot, like mentally, and he had started therapy, and he thought the best way to go about it was go back and essentially like right his wrongs, not necessarily like the steps, so to say, for like AA, but like his steps for therapy.
Mhm.
So I appreciate, but there's no chance of us rekindling.
Right.
None
But-
at all.
Don't ever. Don't ever. They're an ex for a reason. Don't ever.
Okay, so Megan is like the most negative person when it comes to relationships. She's always like, no, hell no, absolutely, no way, whatever. Okay, you know
True.
what? I'm taking the highway and you're taking the
But no,
byway.
but
Okay.
I have been in some really great relationships. They can be great with the right person. But I'm in Georgia. I'm in North Georgia.
What does
North
that mean?
Georgia.
People
Yeah, what does
here-
that mean?
The people here are like Matt and Rodney. They, no. Mm-mm.
Okay, so you're a hard no.
The
I was born in
Hard
Georgia,
no.
just putting that out there.
Hey, I love Georgia. It's home to me. But the dudes from my county, this area, they're nothing to write home to mom about.
Nothing.
I also just paid $1,100 for a Georgia speeding ticket, so there's that too. Thank
All
you,
right.
Georgia.
I had a $300 speeding ticket from Georgia,
I just
Okay.
got
but this was like 2 years ago.
$2,100.
I've never been in Georgia.
All right. So Roger, your take on rekindling relationships clearly is let's give it a shot. Why not?
You know, yes and no. It
Okay.
depends on the person. I think it depends on, what the situation was that drove you guys apart. Each situation is unique, obviously. I mean, if you're in a
agree.
battered relationship, there's no rekindling. Okay.
Right.
But if somebody just kind of screwed up and they had to grow up and come back and realize they screwed up, then maybe you live and learn. And sometimes you don't realize, you think the grass is greener on the other side and it really isn't. And so does that person actually deserve the opportunity to make it work? I mean, it goes back to our episode. We talked about forgiveness. Can you forgive your ex? And we talked about that. In some situations you can, in some situations you cannot. So can you rekindle the flame in a relationship? I think it depends. I want to say, you don't want to be totally closed off to it because,
Possibility
people-
is always there.
it is. It truly is. So, but I think that if two people are meant to be together, it doesn't matter. I feel like it's a gravitational pull that these two people are brought back together.
Well, isn't it
You
that
know?
saying that if you love something, let it go, and if it comes back,
it's like meant for you or something.
Mhm.
Right.
I've
Right.
let one go. I don't even know how many times over 22 years. That is true.
Yeah, I think you need the emotional intelligence too to understand what's
Bingo.
healthy and
Right.
not toxic.
Right.
Right.
Even though two people are drawn to each other, it doesn't mean it's healthy and it's supposed
Right.
to be either.
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Lydia?
No, I was just gonna say, like, every relationship has their moment in time, and maybe
Oh, yeah.
at that time you weren't emotionally ready for that relationship, but now a few years later you are. So maybe
That's a good
rekindling, is helpful in that situation.
That is a really good point. I guess
Yeah.
it would depend how it diffused in the first place. Would play the biggest role, I think.
Right, I
Yeah.
agree. And I think trust is paramount. So if the trust is completely shattered, there's no success coming out of that if you're getting back together,
Right.
unless you can somehow rebuild that trust. But to me, once that's gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and so I believe people make mistakes. I believe that people deserve,
Okay.
do they deserve a second chance?
I think everybody deserves a second chance,
Yeah.
or at least the benefit of the doubt.
We're only human. We make mistakes.
Right.
Okay. And that just makes us stronger. And maybe you realize, you know what? I had a good thing. I fucked it up, but guess what? It's, I have another chance at it. So should you rule that out? Probably, if you
Yeah,
have a
I don't
heart
think you
to
can.
forgive, yeah.
I don't think you can.
So, we're
I
gonna
think
open
if
up the phone
you
lines.
truly love someone, that love for them is always going to be in your heart, no matter how small or how big.
100%.
Yes.
And that's how you know that you really truly love them. Because if
Mhm.
they come back into your life 5-10 years later and you still have the same exact feelings, and you know that that was really what it was. It wasn't just like infatuation.
Or if you just see them 5-10 years later and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Then you know it wasn't.
Solid
You
choice.
made the right choice.
Right.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
So we're
I'll
going to
add
open up the phone lines tonight. I'm sorry, real quick. We're going to open up the phone lines where you guys can call in and be able to chime in on the conversation. So I'll give that number out here in a little bit. Michelle, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to add to that, because giving somebody a second chance, like in my relationship, I gave countless chances. So when we broke up, that was the hard line. I'm like, okay, this is, I've given you a ton of chances to kind of fix your shit. And then at the breakup point, like true colors came out, and there were things that were said and done that could never be forgiven. So even though I will always have love in my heart for this individual, I know that I made the right choice, and I know that I could never go back to that person. So I truly do think it is situational, and it's dependent on the couple as well.
Okay, so I'm here for a good time baby on Twitch.
Yes, that's the best. That's the best. Like,
But the comment
name.
was even better when I read it, and then I read the username. I was like, oh god,
Oh God.
course.
Says me fall in love again? Nah, because there's a lot was
I think that's
someone
what they
else. Always someone else. I ain't sitting
Yeah.
there wasting my time and begging for someone who doesn't even out
Put
the
the
same effort, put out the
You
same
have
effort.
to match the effort.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do think I'm here for a good time, baby. I think you can totally fall in love again. It's just having to weed through those people and finding somebody
Yeah.
that is exactly going to put in the same effort as you. But don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up.
do it.
Don't
Life
do
is
it
so beautiful when you can share it with someone.
I
Absolutely.
did watch a video today.
alone. What?
I said I watched a video today because I'm here for a good time. Mentioned who isn't putting in the same amount of effort.
Right.
And the video I watched said relationships are not about 50-50.
It's
And
about
the reason for that is because some days you come home and you only have 20% to give, and you need to communicate that to your partner, and your partner's like, that's all right. I'm here for the 80%.
Mhm.
But then, a couple days later, you both come home and you're both like, I'm only at 15 and I'm only at 20. And you both have to realize, how are we not going to let that affect our day and our relationship?
Mhm.
So it's not always about matching your efforts. It's about picking up when the other one doesn't have it to give.
Oh, absolutely. But
Yeah, I
together,
agree.
100%.
That video, I don't know, like it just really resonated with me today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
that's pretty strong.
There was an article
simple.
on the Atlantic website, and it said in 2021, Match.com surveyed 5,000 single Americans, and nearly a third of the participants said they would get back together with their ex if they could.
They're
I think
lying.
that's so interesting. They're
But
lying.
2021 was also
Post-pandemic. Yeah, true. Well,
we've been
still-
stuck inside, and all you have to think about is who you've been with instead of who
Right.
you could be meeting.
Right.
So true,
So
Lydia.
I feel like those numbers could be skewed.
Great point.
Mhm.
There you
I'm
go.
just gonna be the philosopher.
No,
tonight.
that's
I love
totally
that.
where my mind was going with that.
But it also said after a breakup, the brain's functional architecture doesn't go back to the way it was before. So common stages that people go through after being dumped is shock, and then they protest. So people attempt to change or make the other person jealous and attempt to try to win them back. So even if you're the one who did the dumping, the brain doesn't forget love, is what the article said.
Interesting
like-
concept.
So true. That's
Like
that
the
is
7
so
stages
true.
of grief, but like the 4 stages of breakup.
Right? Sounds like it.
Mhm.
Yes,
Love it.
what he just said, or is that I'm here for a good time, baby. The thing
Oh.
about being alone, it's not that you don't have anybody, it's that you feel nobody has you.
That's called depression.
That we're here for you. I'm
Yeah,
here
we're
for
here
a
for
good
you.
time.
Yes.
What
Because
I would
believe
say,
me, it's like it, and I know it's so
I don't know how to
cliche,
do that. Like,
but
I
it's
love
the line from Titanic where she's like, I'm standing in a crowded room and I'm screaming and nobody's noticing. You're not alone, but you are lonely.
Right.
yeah.
And you feel like nobody has your back, or
So, yeah, so I'm content being single because I love who I am and who I've become. And I'm also grateful that I have best girlfriends in my life to be able to talk to or hang out with and spend time with. But when I come home, like, of course, I want to share my life with somebody, but I'm also very content in being single just because I do love who I am as a person.
You
So,
got to love yourself before you love somebody else.
oh, absolutely.
yeah, we talk about
Yeah.
that a lot on the show. So
All the time.
I think for you, there's plenty of people that love you in this life, just maybe not how you want them to love you right now. So maybe get back to you and do things that make you happy. That way you can fulfill that void of feeling like nobody has your back, because
Yeah.
you just need you to have your back at this
Solid.
point.
Exactly.
Solid.
All righty. So we're gonna go ahead and bring our guest on. She's my ex-girlfriend.
Woo! Woo, woo.
All right, guys, please welcome Kara Roger
Kara.
Zach.
Hi, Kara.
Hello.
How are you? So nice to meet you.
I'm good. Thank God.
How are
I
you
am
feeling
on
right
your
now?
ex.
No pressure.
Oh,
Yeah, no
a
pressure.
little bit. I mean, that was an introduction. I mean,
So
I feel like,
But you stayed on.
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm
So
here.
let me ask. Can I ask this question?
Yeah, can we
I'm
ask?
gonna let you
Why-
run this show right now, Michelle, because obviously, yeah, I'm gonna make you the one that's gonna be the main interviewer on this one. So, because otherwise, it's gonna be one-sided if I'm
Right.
the main person here. So I'll let you guys interview us for a
Let's hear
change.
your side of the story on why y'all broke up.
That was my question. Why did you guys break
Hmm.
up? Kara, you go first.
Roger just kept kicking me out.
He kept kicking you out?
Yeah. And then I just remember the last time the last time that we hung out, I did reach out to my ex at the time. Well, yeah, like an ex that I hadn't talked to since high school. And it was my high school boyfriend. And I was at Roger's house. And that did get back to Roger, which is disappointing, but it happens.
It's disappointing that Roger found out, or
And I was
disappointing in yourself that
rekindling.
you did that?
Both. Yeah, both. And then we didn't talk until recently when you sent me an email. It was very short. How are you?
How are
What
you?
did
That
you
was
think when you got that email?
I was like, oh, he forgives me.
Just
Were you like, he
automatically?
wants me back?
I think that's all I thought.
Okay.
No, well, maybe no. I mean, mostly like, I'm glad we're on talking terms again.
Okay.
Right. What were some reasons he'd kick you out,
Yeah.
though?
We would get in fights.
Mhm.
And
Were they
a little
trivial?
loud.
Were they trivial fights, or were they over
Yeah, I don't
important things?
remember. No, I don't. I mean, they were important. They were pretty important things. Sometimes I like remember one fight, but most of the time I don't even remember what the fights were about.
That's
Right.
fair.
We just got loud, passionate.
Okay. Passionate.
Roger.
Yeah.
passionate.
Yeah.
Roger, now what's your side on the breakup?
Yes, we were doing a lot of fighting when she was living. There was a lot of tension going on, stressful with the kids, trying to figure out, I think we're trying to figure out our place. I think what we did was we tried to move her in too fast and people were not adjusting to the change. And And it was kind of a situation where she didn't have a place to stay, so I kind of had to bring her over, and so we tried to make it work, but we did get into a lot of fights. But the one thing that I didn't put up with was I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to her on the phone talking to her ex, and I'm like, really? Why are you talking to your ex? I go, what's this all about? And then so we got real, so that was one of our big fight. I was like, no, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm done. I'm done with this. You're going to have to figure something out, because if you don't want to give me the attention and you want to focus on this out of the blue, call this ex at 5 o'clock in the morning under my roof. Absolutely. It's time for you to go. This thing is over and done with, So I was angry. I was pissed. And then she started talking to him more and more and more, and just kind of shoved me out. And then all of a sudden I get a call from him that says, I don't want you to communicate with my future wife. And I'm like, what? Since when? This is like all happening within maybe like a 1 or 2 week period. I'm like, oh, she's your wife now? She's gonna be your wife? Okay, have fun with that. I'm done. So I was like, okay, end of story here. So yeah, I pulled away at that point. I was angry, and
How long had y'all been together by that point?
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah. So does that sound about right, Kara?
Kara, how does that make you feel that he said that he just kind of like had to let you move in? Like, it doesn't feel like I don't know, personally, I'd be like, oh, you didn't want me there? Like, you're just taking me in because I don't have anyone else
no. I mean, it was a pretty desperate situation.
Yeah,
I agree with it.
Do you think that kind of was the start to your end all? Like, maybe you moved in too fast?
A lot of stress going on at that time. And yeah, I just think just timing just not good at all.
That's what it was.
On.
Yeah,
but I'm happy with how things turned out. I think that it's kind of what I needed to do at the time. I got it out of my system. So yeah, I feel like I grew a lot from it.
When you say you got it all out of your system, are you talking about the ex?
Just like getting married. I think, like I kind of felt like my time was running out because I got into my 30s and I was feeling like
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm washed up. I'm 32 now.
Girlfriend, you got all the time in the world. The last thing you ever want to do is marry the wrong person. And you are so young.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time. This is a conversation that I have with people over and over again. Even I met a girl last week who was in her mid-20s who felt like she had this pressure on herself to meet somebody and get married and have kids. And it's like, women are having children into their early 40s. Women need to take the pressure off of themselves for this innate need to get married and or have kids. Because the last thing you ever want to do is do it with the wrong person. Because especially if you're having kids, you're tied to their ass for the rest of your life.
Which you don't want.
Ever.
Which, Kara, you already know what I'm dealing with. So you know where I'm at. You know my situation.
Let me ask you this. How long did that marriage last?
Whose marriage?
The one,
My marriage?
Kara's.
Yes. Oh, 3 months. But then probably finalized like 6 months.
So what happened there?
What happened there?
I didn't really know him that well. It had been like 13 years. People changed since high school. And I actually moved down to Houston, which is random because that's where Roger is now.
Yeah, the funny story here
for like
is
job opportunities.
We were both in Houston at the same time, and neither one of us knew that we were both in Houston.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
Random,
Very
right?
strange.
Until you emailed her.
Yeah.
And then found out
she was back in Boise.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
back in Boise now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, just random, just real
Now,
random.
have you been divorced from this guy like long?
Yeah. Right? Feels like it.
How long has it been?
Um.
Roughly.
Like
No judgment.
No judgment here. Couple
Okay,
months, 6
I was
months.
only married 49 days. No judgment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now
Kim
how do you
Kardashian
feel
was 72.
that we'll just move on. How do you feel now that you've gotten married and then divorced? Like I know you said you felt like you needed to get that out of your system, but did it? Like, do you still feel
yeah. I just feel like I feel like the whole like fascination with it's gone, and I'm not like, oh, this is what I need to do. It's like, oh, been there, done that. It's not as awesome as
But do you think 3
I
months was
thought.
an adequate time to like fulfill that?
I mean, just to yeah, for me, yeah.
and that's
I
fair.
mean, I guess I'm
Yeah.
just not. I just don't have that like. Oh, I need to do. It's almost like that thing where you have to try it yourself, and then been there, done that, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Right.
And I can't knock it because I was my first marriage was with somebody that I met and we ran off, got married. 6 months later, it didn't work, and I walked away. And I get it. I get it. You know, you don't understand the value of marriage. You just think it's a connection thing. It's a security, and not the whole, the value of what marriage is all about. And so when you're younger, and you look at it as more of a security blanket than you are as far as what a commitment is all about. So being older now, I look back and I value marriage. And she kept saying things to me like, you're going to be my future husband. I'm like, well, we have some things we got to work out if I'm going to be your future husband. But I'm not saying I didn't rule out that wasn't going to want to be her husband down the road, but not that day and not the next day, we just had some things that needed to work, and I felt that she was impatient. And so she was jumping to somebody else that wanted to say that they married her. So that would fulfill her need at the moment. But then it was one factor that drove us apart, obviously.
Right.
So, and that's why I think it goes back to the whole timing situation, because I truly did love Kara. And I'll always have feelings for her. I'll always have a special, place in my heart for her. And we talk about rekindled relationships, and it's like rekindling could be rekindling and making your friendship again. Rekindling could be into an actual relationship again. Do I see a possible future with us down the road? You know what? I'll never rule any of that out. But I think more importantly, we're rebuilding that friendship between each other that we once had. And I think it'll make us stronger as individuals to be able to rekindle that friendship. And, if we walk away just being best friends, and then there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's no loss in
Sure.
that at all.
No,
and that should be
absolutely
the
not.
basis is friendship and rebuilding that friendship before you jump back into another relationship for sure. I think
Absolutely.
you guys are doing right by that.
Mhm.
And you can't knock anybody who runs off and gets married right off the bat because there are so many success
Sure the
stories
fuck
of people
can't.
doing that too. So
Sure the fuck can't.
Yeah.
what?
Look at Dharma and Greg.
Here when I'm talking
Dharma and Greg.
Yeah, I don't think there's room for judgment with any person's situation because everyone's different and there's success and there's not success for every situation out there. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
But-
marriage isn't for everybody anyway.
it's not.
It's okay if like it's run its course with, like she was saying, she's gotten it out of her system. It's run its course. That is
But I do
perfectly
think
okay.
Yeah, and I do think the pressure that either person puts on the other one to get married or to have kids is what drives a lot of relationships apart.
Right.
And I understand if that's a conversation kind of in the beginning of the relationship and you've given it how much ever time. But if one person just feels this innate need to get married, regardless of who it's with, or that's what's going to drive relationships apart. I've seen that happen so many times, especially when I was in college. These girls just pressuring their boyfriends, like, well, when are we getting married? When am I getting a ring?
Mhm.
Some of them have stayed together and some of them haven't, but I just don't think putting pressure on another person is the right way to go
It's
about
not fair. No, I agree. But I think if you're out to rekindle a friendship or a relationship, I think it's really important before you can even attempt to have a regular, normal, built upon friendship, you have to conquer what demised y'all to begin with. Or else I feel like even a friendship, because there's always going to be that, like, I don't want to say a grudge but it's always going to be in the back of your mind. Whatever the situation is, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. And I think it's really important. You've got to work on that and get that, whatever it was, to cause y'all to fall apart. Fix that. Like, make a sentence. Like, what am I doing? Why am I like this? I get a whole ass like thing going in my head, and then a bird chirps outside, and I'm like, oh.
No, you definitely made sense. I mean, just at the end of the day, you have to remember you're still with that same person. So whatever
Yes.
bugged you in the past, whatever broke you guys up in the past,
is more than
that's
likely going to re-arise if it's not dealt with at the
right.
rekindling stage.
And it's
Yeah.
common for couples to fall into the same pattern. So
Yes.
communication is going to be paramount if you're going to rekindle a relationship, for sure.
Consistency. For sure.
Yeah, just communication for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you are going to get back together with someone, make sure that that decision is yours and yours alone. Because obviously, yes, you need to talk it out with your partner, but I'm talking inner circle people or family or friends that want you guys to get back together. Like, don't let anybody outside of you two influence you to get back together, because that's not going to work either. I've seen that happen too.
I think her and I have a good communication. I think we kind of understand where we stand with each other right now. And obviously I miss her, and obviously I care about her, and I think she cares about me too. Otherwise, she would not be on our show if she didn't care. And I think we've been through a lot. We've been through the ringer with each other. Good, bad, the ugly. We've gone through it all, even in a short amount of time. I mean, we're together for 8 months, but I mean, it's going on, what, a year and a half we've known each other, but we're just, I mean, I think we've built such a bond with each other that it's not breakable. It's kind of like, siblings or friends, you guys have your tiffs, you go your own way. And then all of a sudden you're like, I kind of miss you, you still feel that connection. Am I wrong here, Kara?
Oh, no. Maybe not sibling, but we're pretty spun.
No. Yes. But I feel like I feel like her and I do, I think we're going to be like, I feel like we're going to be friends for life, regardless, no matter what. Whether we get together back down the road or she has her relationship and I have my relationship, I still feel like we're always going to be there to support one another, regardless.
Right.
Roger, what made you reach out to her? Like, what?
Yeah, what triggered you just to...
You always wonder what the
Roger.
other person's doing. I think you kind of wonder what that person's doing, because and so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna be dramatic. I'm not gonna create a big, huge email and be like, oh my God. No, I'm just gonna ask her, hey, how are you doing? That was it. It didn't think she was ever going to respond. Okay. So and then she responded maybe a week later, or not even a week later. And I'm just like, whoa, well, this is good. Whoa, she got divorced. I'm going, what the heck? I'm like, okay, I better text her, be like, what's going on? I gotta get caught up here. So,
So even though she kind of did the wrong in the relationship for the breakup, why didn't you think she was going to respond to you?
because I was a complete jerk at the end, even though she was wrong and how she treated me and how she pushed me out completely. I was angry. I was hurt because she's like, my mom said she showed me the text message you sent to my mom, and she said you were mean. I said, hell yeah, I was mean. That's how I felt, because you put me in that position. You made me feel that way. And she's like, okay, valid point. But and I don't regret it. I don't regret how
But you
I
also
felt at
tore
that
up my
moment.
character. You were a jerk.
Do what?
What?
To be fair. To be fair. You were a jerk, to be fair. And you tore up my character.
But do you think any of your
just be fair.
actions warrant how he was?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Maybe not to that extreme. But yeah.
Okay.
Slightly.
Lydia?
Had he not
Not to that
emailed
degree.
you, do you think you would have reached out to him at some point?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Actually. Maybe.
Did you see his email and wait a week to reply? Or was that just
Yeah,
just
I
happen
waited.
that way?
I thought about it for a bit.
What made you question it? Just not responding like immediately.
Just like if this would be a healthy choice, the right move.
Right.
I feel like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's fair.
Yeah, those are definitely things you have to weigh in.
And has it been a healthy choice so far?
Yeah. I mean, so far so good. What do you think, Roger?
I think it's good. I think we're on the right track. I mean, obviously, when we eventually meet up one-on-one, we're obviously going to have a deeper conversation about everything. But I think you and I kind of, understand the situation, and we don't have to beat it into the bush because I think you and I kind of know what happened. I think you and I both know.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I both know what happened, and I think you and I both know that it's either we need to move forward or we just walk away. So is our friendship strong enough for us to go over that hurdle? I think it is, and I think that time's going to tell, obviously, but we wouldn't be here today where we're at right now talking about it openly to the world if there's not a part of her or I that still feels connected in some aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. There's got to be some sort of a connection.
And if anybody watching has questions about their own situations or relationships, please feel free to drop it in the comments as well.
Yes, please do.
Or give us a call, 845-442-LOVE, 845-442-LOVE, 5683 in numbers. You can give us a call if you want to talk about your relationship, your experience, or if you have a question for us, feel free to let us know. Feel free to chime in, or if you don't feel like picking up on the phone, just make a comment on there and be part of the conversation. So
perfect. I recently reached out to an ex 6 months ago.
Did you?
An XX, like from 12 years ago. And here's my reason why. I did not want to get back together with him. That was never my intent. But our breakup was really ugly. And I know I broke his heart. And it just kept coming up in my mind for some reason, even though it's been 12 years or whatever it is later. And so to me, it just was like, I need to say something because I do feel I feel bad for how things ended. And so without the intent of wanting to get back together, I did just want to apologize, like sincerely apologize for how it ended. And he just responded like a week ago, not even maybe a couple days ago. And like I said, I messaged him back in November and he just responded. And pretty much was like, you made it so awkward for me. I was with my girlfriend and she read all of your messages. And it literally just said to like, it was me apologizing. It wasn't anything more than that. So he was like telling me pretty much his whole life story since we broke up. And then we just had kind of small talk after that. But I don't know. I just felt the need to apologize.
That's really, because sometimes you've got to do that though.
Yeah, I felt like if it was weighing heavy on my heart, that I'm the one that that I like to say how I'm feeling because I don't want to have regrets. Like God forbid somebody's not here tomorrow and I didn't say how I was feeling, I would be upset about that. So I try to just lay things out on the table with everyone in my life on how I'm feeling.
Right.
So, advice to anybody who does want to get back with their ex. Let's maybe go round robin on this.
Okay.
Roger, what would be your advice to get if you're considering getting back together with your ex? What's your pretty much your top advice?
I think have an open mind and listen to each other because everybody else, you and that one partner have your own perspective of things. And I think you need to understand their mindset and what, how they feel and have them understand how you feel. You guys have to be able to understand the other person because if you don't, it's going to be one-sided. It's not going to work. So you just have to be able to be open-minded and open your ears and just listen, not, overpower the other person, just sit back, let them speak, let them tell you how they feel. And then they'll give you the same in return. And then at that point, you guys could figure out if you guys, feel like this is something that you guys can work through together.
I like it. Kara, what's your advice?
I think take ownership for what you've done in the past. Don't brush it under the rug. And respect one another. I think that would probably be a good start.
I like it. Lydia?
I think you need to be willing to see that you're not going to pick up where you left off in your old relationship and that you are coming into a new relationship and you need to view that as getting to know each other again because you're going to be two totally different people the second time around. I
agree. That's a good one. Meg?
It is.
I say don't ever fucking do it. Don't ever do it. There's way too many options out there. There are... Why put yourself through whatever it was? Now, and I say this on a relationship that a long-term didn't end well, whatever reason. If it's a relationship that just wasn't the right time, whatever the situation may be, that's different. But a hardcore, serious relationship and then rekindling that bullshit, no, run. Run.
So if you two do get married, Megan, I guess, is not on the guest list.
I'll make a speech from afar.
Too funny.
But that's run her course. Marriage has run her course with her. How has it run its course with you, Roger?
Have they what?
Has marriage run its course with you? Are you ever against marriage again?
No, I'm not actually, and if if the right person's there and the connection is right there and, I want somebody that I'm going to be able to spend the rest of my life with. I'm not getting any younger and I'm tired of being alone. So I don't want to be with somebody just to be with somebody. I want to be with somebody because my heart's with them and I truly love them and I want to give them my all and be able to share the rest of my life with. So,
I would rather sell my soul to the fucking devil.
I know you would. So, anyway, but
my advice, if you want to rekindle relationships, would be
your advice.
Take it slow. Figure out what you both want and what you both need.
Yeah.
Ask yourselves, why do you want to get back together? Take out all the surface level shit, get deep down on why you want to get back together.
Mhm.
Couples therapy if you're willing to both do it. And at the end of the day, and always listen to your gut, because your gut's going to steer you in the right direction.
But never go to bed angry.
Never go to bed angry.
Never go to bed angry.
Or hungry.
Or hungry.
Or kick somebody out because you're mad at them.
I mean, I'm all for that, but never go to bed hungry.
Never go to bed hungry. That's all she could say now. All Megan can think about is food. Okay.
Well, I like my sucker and like my bowl of chicken pot pie.
Some people have like a naughty drawer in their nightstand. We have snacks.
If y'all open up my nightstand right now, y'all would see little Debbie like snack cakes. It's that bad.
Lydia, do you have fruit by the foot in your snack drawer?
Oh!
I actually ate one earlier.
Did you?
I did.
Just one. Did you eat that alone?
I did. It was delicious.
If you have no idea what we're talking about, just listen to some of our older episodes.
Exactly.
Well,
they can be a delicious treat by themselves or
Very
wrapped around
satisfying.
Or with somebody else. Yes.
right. Wrapped around something.
I'm speechless. I flushed it. I don't even know what to say to that.
Put it in the minutes.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to start
Alrighty.
keeping a notebook.
Right.
Should.
All right, Kara, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes.
I'm glad that you came on and joined me on this, and I know some things that you and I talk about, sometimes it's kind of hard and, and difficult. I will say, personally, you're an amazing person. You're a wonderful person. I mentioned it in the episode, can you forgive your ex? And I said that, we talked about you actually. And I said, yes, I can forgive you for what you did. I'm not happy with what happened, but, if you don't forgive somebody, you're just going to hold that grudge inside and, you're just going to be, you're not helping the other person by holding a grudge against them. You just got to be able to release and just be okay with what happened and take it as a learning experience. But, I'm so happy to have you back in my life. And I think you're an awesome person. And thank you for, being open to come and talk about our relationship on the show, Kara.
Oh, for sure. You're the coolest, Roger. We all
Thank
know.
you.
Yeah, it's not easy to talk openly about things, let alone with other people involved. So thank you for coming on. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you.
It was nice
Okay.
having you.
All right, I'm going to keep you in the green room
It was
right now,
nice
Kara.
meeting
So
all y'all.
stand by. Yep.
Nice to meet you.
All right, hang out in the green room. All right. So there we go. So so there she is. That was my ex-girlfriend, and didn't know whether or not I wanted to bring her on the show or not. But then I was like, you know what? Why not? Because this show, we're all open, we're all real, we're all human, we're all about ourselves, right? So, if I can't be true to my audience and be open, I don't want to be fake. So
Right.
I want the audience to know the real me, and as all of us know the real. I mean, we all know Megan already, so we know the real Megan. So
Every day.
So I mean seriously, so so it's been nice, it's been fun. Was able to bring her on and talk about it. And the thing is, there got to be some type of a good friendship between us for her to even agree to come back on the show, to come on the show with us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, now that
So-
it's over, how do you feel about it?
I feel fine. No, I feel
You're so generic with your emails, and I feel fine. Like, tell
How
us
are
how
you?
you really feel.
I missed her. I'm hated the way it had ended. But you know what? It's kind of like, I'm glad that she's in my life. And to what extent, only the future will tell. But to be able to have her back as a friend in my life, somebody I could be able to talk to who knows me inside and
It's
out.
important.
Yeah. I could talk to her about things that she knows and she understands. Her and I have had many, many conversations. So I know her deepness as well as she knows my deepness. So, it's not
Y'all are
like,
kinky.
huh?
Nothing. Carry on.
So we're, but I think that, I think we have a good friendship, and I think, we'll stay friends. I can't say if we're going to ever get back together, but I think the foundation of a friendship is a good start for anything. And even if it stays at that.
Yeah, and no pressure either way. Like you said, time always tells with everything.
Right.
So
Right.
you can just ride the wave and see where it goes, then you'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So, well, another great fun episode as always.
It was for sure.
Always.
I decided to go to an
very
HBO premiere instead of doing our show. So whatever, dude.
I know, in New York.
Yeah, whatever, Ike. Whatever.
Whatever.
We didn't want to go anyways.
Yeah, we didn't want to go.
Yeah, we didn't want to go. We
I don't want to be
on
on a red carpet.
This is way
Right?
cooler, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Called in at least and said, "Hey guys, I'm in New York on the red carpet. Wish y'all."
Yeah,
were
he
here."
could have done that. He could have easily.
That would have been cool.
I'm totally kidding. That would have been cool though.
All right. Well, we'll razz him next week on that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, guys. Join us next week. Brand new episode, brand new topic. You guys can chime in, be a part of the action. You could always watch us live every Monday night on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, and restreamed on all podcast platforms, wherever you get your podcast. You could always listen while you're driving in your car or wherever you are. So definitely want to thank our relationship influencers, Lydia and Megan, as well as my great co-host, Michelle. Thank you.
Right back at you, Roger. It was a great topic. So.
Yep. And Michelle, you have a new podcast that's out.
I do. Yeah. I just launched the trailer a couple days ago, and I'm going to post my first episode hopefully tomorrow, but it's called Not Your Practice Life, and it should be up on all platforms streaming or all podcast streaming platforms. So I'm super excited. It's something I've been wanting to do for close to a year. I went into my account and I had set up this little demo back in October, and I was like, oh, that's terrible. I need to redo that. So I'm super excited to finally be getting it out in the world.
Cool.
It's going to be about living a happier, healthier life and just advice on how to do that.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I'm so excited.
I know.
Share.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
Sure.
You have yourself a great rest of your week, and we'll see y'all next week.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.